All right, I am here in my apartment, cleaning up, packing up, getting ready to move out. So, I want to try to um, record and share my journey as a newly divorced woman healing from years of emotional abuse, starting my own businesses, leaning into really living by faith and having an adventure with God. There's so many things going on. So it's hard to sum up the journey so far and kind of bring you up to date. So we're just going to have to start in the middle. One thing my ex and I decided on doing is something called nesting, which, if you imagine the mommy bird and the daddy bird, taking turns flying back and forth and feeding and taking care of the baby birds in the nest, it's that kind of idea. The kids have been staying in the family home, and my ex and I take turns going back and forth and getting to have time with the kids instead of the kids having to go back and forth between two households. That's created a lot of stability and continuity for them. And to be honest, it's made it, I feel like, a more gentle transition for me. I don't know. For my ex. But for me, I haven't had to deal with packing up and selling a whole house so that we could divide it. I know for a lot of couples, he'll move out and she stays in the house with the kids, but that was never something that he agreed to. So it was either nesting or selling and dividing. So, nesting has made it a simpler transition, I think, for all of us. And so I've had this beautiful, safe, clean, small, furnished apartment really close to the family home, where when it's my ex's turn with the kids, I've been able to come up to my apartment and have some really just sacred healing time. But it's time for another transition. They are planning on selling the house. The little wall-mounted AC units actually aren't enough to keep up with the summer heat. And with traveling and the schedule and everything, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give up the apartment. I'm going to go ahead and move out. Here's where some of the adventure comes in. I don't have somewhere to go instead. So I'm here this weekend, gonna do some cleaning, some packing, get all the way out of the apartment. And then, my rent for June, this will be the last month. Excuse me, for May, this will be the last month that I pay rent. The first weekend in June, I don't have anywhere to go, so I'm going to go camping. But this is part of the adventure that I'm going to be having, leaning into trusting God. Where am I going to land next? What's going to happen next? And I actually suspect that it's going to actually be a part of the healing process for me. Getting to make decisions on my own and not have it judged, getting to do things and not being blamed all the time. So much of emotional abuse just breaks you down because you're easier to control if you don't really have a sense of self. And so doing things on my own is part of rebuilding that sense of self, that sense of strength. So anyway, you're invited to come along on the journey, and maybe some of the beginning of the story will come out, as we go along, as we've jumped into the middle, starting my business, traveling, dreams, goals, all sorts of things. But welcome. It's going to be great getting to know you, and I hope that what I learn along the way ends up being helpful and healing for you as well.